As we mentioned, the chase and shooting came in the midst of debates over the ongoing government shutdown. Now, 3 days in, frustration is boiling over in Washington and across the country as lawmakers remain far apart on a deal that would reopen federal agencies and get nearly 1 million Americans back to work.
Take a vote, stop this first, and end this shutdown right now.
Speaking to a construction company in Maryland today, the president once again called for an end to the impasse in Congress and lashed out at Republicans in particular, accusing them of holding the country hostage in an attempt to derail Obamacare. But
the GOP insists it's the president and the Democrats who are unwilling to compromise.
Yesterday's meeting at the White House, frankly, wasn't particularly encouraging. The president basically called us all down there to tell us he's not interested in negotiating.
While the stalemate continues, an estimated 800,000 federal workers remain furloughed, including thousands here in southern New England.
Tonight, we're learning more about how some of those vacated jobs could have a ripple effect on the rest of the U.S.
Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly joins us now live with local coverage.
Mike and Susan, even with the government shutdown at TF Green Airport in Warwick, airplanes are taking off and landing as usual. But we caught up with a federal aviation inspector now out on furlough who tells us the longer this shutdown goes on, the less safe flying will become.
We're surprised that we're not on the job. We'd rather be.
Bob Berlin was a commercial pilot for 20 years. The East Greenwich resident is now an aviation safety inspector for the Federal Aviation Administration out of Burlington, Massachusetts. Well, not right now. He and about 3,000 other inspectors are out of work on indefinite furlough.
The longer this goes on, the worse it'll get. In aviation, typically catastrophes or accidents don't happen because of one catastrophic event. It's usually a chain of events. It's very hard to sit and tell you that this weak link is going to cause this problem. You know, people always ask us, how many accidents have you prevented? And the answer to that is however many haven't happened, and it's very hard to quantify.
Should people be afraid to fly?
I don't want to sound alarmist, and that's very important to us not to do that. At this point, should they be afraid to fly? No. Should they be concerned because safety inspections are not being done? Yeah, they should.
People should be concerned, Bob Berlin tells us, because over time, safety inspections that didn't happen may have found something very important that needed fixing. Live with the mobile newsroom, Sean Daly, Eyewitness News.
And stay with Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of the government shutdown and its impact on southern New England.
Coming up new at 6, why thousands of low-income Rhode Islanders could be in danger of losing the benefits they rely on to feed their families.